So we're back for episode 22. 22.
After a week hiatus.
We took a week off.
Yeah.
I had to do some things up north. Weren't able to get in here and get number 22
Too much
done.
pickle juice.
Pickle juice. Jameson and pickle juice. Try that one. We'll have to do it. We'll have to do it one day.
I won't. I can't.
So 22. Let's dive into we're going to dive into a few subjects. Most recently, Tiger Woods.
The Tiger Woods car crash.
Man,
he has like rods and pins and screws.
Career. No, but here's another thing. I mean, I think the most, I guess, right now the biggest question mark and the scariest thing would be infection.
Yeah, it's like the Alex Smith thing.
I think he's got open. They had to do like the compartment syndrome stuff, so they had to like open them up.
Yeah,
so
it's
compartment. Yeah, compartment syndrome is when you have swelling inside the muscle, the fascia. Your muscles like. Imagine I'll explain it to everyone that's watching, a chicken breast. You take the chicken breast out and you see that real thin film on it and you want to take that off sometimes because it looks gross. Well, we all have that on our muscles. That's your fascia. So when you have swelling inside of that, it's almost like it's so much pressure that your body doesn't know where to put the fluid and it cuts off the blood supply to your muscle, and then your muscle tissue starts to die, and then you could get bad infection. And back years ago, that's how people died of the infections. So they have to slice it, open it up, let the pressure release, and then slowly close you up. But skin grafts, all that stuff, it's bad. The open fractures.
He suffered compound fractures.
Ooh.
Like fractures.
Sounds
not
really
like,
painful.
Not a compound fracture, multiple compound fractures.
Now, is that a good look or a bad look for Genesis?
It depends.
Could he have died?
On something?
No, I'm saying the car manufacturer. Like, is that a good look?
Good because it rolled over a ton of times.
But it looks like it didn't roll this way. Like, it doesn't have any damage. Like, you would think a rollover. The sunroof was intact. The panoramic roof was intact.
It kind of has to be, though.
The sides of the car didn't look like it had any scratches. It was the front and the back.
No, the whole thing was rolled over.
No. I'm saying, but if you look at the actual pictures of the car, like usually in a rollover, the roof. Yeah, but I'm saying that the front and rear,
roof being there,
the roof is intact. It's not like because usually it's not crowned or anything.
It's because the structure has to be like really solid. So when you do crash test used.
But how does the front? I'm surprised. How's the front crushed in and his legs are pinned if it rolled?
Because you just don't know what he hit. Like, did he hit something?
Like, did he go off the cliff and hit?
And like land that way? Yeah.
Or like go this way? Because the back is messed up too. So like, did he go this way?
Yeah, it could have been like a kind of that type of rolling. But when they do crash tests now, they have to do like all these weird like tests. It used to be a crash test was just the car drove and hit. You know, and then they used a barrier and hit it from the side, and they used a barrier and hit it from back. Now like they take crash tests and they'll lift like the wheel off the ground, like with the right front wheel, and crash it.
Well, I know that they do the offset now, and that's like the standard, and it's like it's a minimal offset, so it's almost like 6 inches on the corner of the car with a pillar, because I guess that's most accidents happen. Obviously, you're going down the road, a car comes, you swerve away, and it's just barely clipping each other.
Yep.
And then they do it to some cars, and it just freaking aluminum can rips that whole thing open, and your foot's exposed, and the dummy's head's out the window.
They got all that.
You know, but then they have ones that are good. You know, I think the Jeep I was watching. I like to watch crash tests. Is that weird?
I was at a crash test.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty interesting.
It's loud if you're there.
It's like a shotgun.
Really loud.
Boom.
Yeah, no, it's louder than that because they take these cars at like 50 miles an hour and just hit barriers with them.
It's crazy that. Like, so the inertia and all that stuff, like weight times speed and all that, like goes into your body.
Yeah.
But like they do these tests at 35, 50 to 50, like 35. We're usually
do them like 70 and 80 now.
Do they do them at 70 or 80?
Yeah, because they have.
I didn't realize they did that at 70. Hold on, let's look this up. Let's make sure we double check facts here, because we don't want to be the media and make false statements, but people think they're real. Crash test speed. Crash test speed. New car assessment program, NCAP. Passenger vehicles are crashed at 35 miles an hour.
That's just for the
into the rigid
testing.
Barrier.
Yeah, that's for government testing. But like you see, there's videos on here. You can do like Ford Explorer fuel system crash at 70 miles per hour real time. Smart car crash test at 70 miles an hour. XC90 test.
But so this is the official.
Yes, that's the government cast.
So, but you think, okay, when you watch a crash test at 35 miles an hour and it's bad, that's 35 miles an hour. Who drives 35 miles an hour? Like, we do like 75. You hit somebody at 75, I don't care which is, you're done. A series of crash tests by the IHS and partners shows that impact speeds of 50 to 55 are far more likely to lead to injury or death than 40 miles an hour impact. I mean, who drives at 40? You're in like that's not like you go on Route 1 right 40? Here.
In a 20?
Yeah, I'm saying you're on Route 1. What are you doing? 65?
Yeah.
You're toast if you hit somebody.
I think there is a huge difference, though, between 70 and like 85 miles an hour on a crash. Like, there's a huge difference.
So if you're doing like a $120, guess what? Yeah. You're vapor. You're gone.
Well, that's the thing is that there was a report came out of Tiger Woods that like he sped out of the hotel and almost hit somebody standing there because he was an hour late to go shoot with Drew Brees. He was doing like shooting they did yesterday was Dwayne Wade, where Tiger Woods was giving pro athletes golf lessons.
Well, I was reading too that like that particular area is like a downhill curve. So like if you're going too fast,
that's why
you don't realize that your momentum is going, and then you got to hit your brakes, and then you start hitting your brakes and going too fast. Then that's where you.
I think what might have happened is if you're going there in a curve and say you hit the brakes hard and you almost go like
it's like just natural rotation. But he went hit the barrier. Yeah, went across the traffic.
That's what I mean. Like you hit the barrier, and then there's the reason why the roof's okay is because like you hit the barrier and almost fly.
Yeah, he could almost flew.
I mean,
they have
because you're a
this
hill.
Car's a 2021 luxury brand. I bet you it has a computer They're gonna pull the computer on it, and they're gonna see how fast he was going.
I guess the big thing is he looked pretty bad the other day. He was on camera, and he looked like he might have been on like some painkillers.
I mean, he better not. I mean, they're going to pull him, but I don't think it was early enough. It was 7:30 a.m. I don't think
the police said that it was. They don't.
I don't think he had anything in him like alcohol or anything. And that's one sad thing about our world today that we live in and we're living in is if you have any prior anything. I'm reading an article. The last paragraph is in 2017 he was arrested for DUI. It's like, all right, it's 7:30 in the morning. It'd be different if it was 2 a.m. And he's driving home from wherever.
Or could have just been up the whole night.
Maybe he didn't sleep.
Yeah, but
it sucks because
the world we live in is always the worst case.
It's
scenario.
Worst case, and
what's the worst thing we can do? What's the worst thing we can say? What's the worst?
I just watched this documentary on Netflix, like The Staircase. It's called The Staircase.
I haven't seen it.
So it's set in like 2002 or 2001. Peterson, I think it's Michael Peterson. His wife fell down the stairs. She fell down the stairs. They were home together. He went
Lacey Peterson?
No, maybe that's something else.
Is it like he killed his wife Peterson. Or something like that?
Well, he went to trial for it.
Oh.
Hold on, is it Michael? I just want to make sure.
We do our
it's Michael Peterson. It's called The Staircase. So they were having wine or whatever. He went out to the pool. She said, "Hey, I'm going in." And then he came inside, and she was at the bottom of the staircase with 7 lacerations on her head and blood everywhere.
That's a little different, though. I mean,
7?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. When you go into saying that, like, we go to the worst case scenario, I'm kind of going the worst case scenario on that one.
So, I mean, it goes through the whole trial and the whole thing.
Did he get convicted?
I mean, I'd spoil it for everybody, but I mean, you could just look it up. Yeah, he got convicted. He got convicted of murder, first-degree murder. But the questionable part was that, like, 18 years earlier, the same thing happened to him with somebody else. Like, the person was found.
Is a documentary then?
It's the person was found at the bottom of the stairs with lacerations. They exhumed.
He got off of that one?
Yeah.
What did he say? That she just fell?
She fell. He found her there. Like,
what?
Yeah. And they exhumed her body and found that it was a homicide. Like she had like 6 lacerations on her head.
Netflix is getting a little bit too much of these documentaries now.
But the documentary is weird because they actually filmed a lot of the behind the scenes stuff in like 2003, and you could tell. I mean, people got big baggy pants on, the leather jacket. You know, it's like it's crazy.
Got the Jenko jeans on,
structure, carpenter pants, massive.
No, Netflix is going.
Did you have a black leather jacket? When I was in high school, that's all I wanted. I got this black Wilson's black leather jacket, had the big tips on it. Man, I thought it was cool. I still get it at my parents' house.
No, I don't think I ever wore a jacket.
Oh, they're that guy. It ain't cold out.
No,
it's not cold.
But
I'm from here. I'm from New England.
Yeah,
it's not cold.
Here, it's not cold.
It's 40 degrees. I wear shorts.
I remember like having like starter jackets.
The pullovers. Yeah. I had Apex. I had an Apex Cowboys jacket pullover. It was the best.
I had Florida State.
Oh, you were that kid with all like the
I had like
great schools at the time.
No,
that
was my
you had the Duke
one.
pullover.
Okay. I had Florida State, but then I had
Cowboys.
Like the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, the Ducks.
Because they just came out.
The Ducks.
I mean, that was the right one.
Yeah, they're Mighty Ducks too.
I had like the Patriots
Dallas
one, the old
Stars.
school Patriots one. Like the Pete Carroll Patriots one.
Yeah, the bright blue and the red and white.
Yeah.
Those are cool. Those are vintage.
And I had like a Bruins.
Vintage is in.
Those bring big money now.
I know they do.
So like toys and stuff like that from that era bring all the money now because everybody's now in that age that can buy it.
There's not one toy that would be of any value that I owned as a child. It was torn apart. I used to put cars in my dad's Vice and like crush them like it was a car wreck. My old man would be like, "Yo, Robert." I'd say, "What? Were you in my workroom?" "No." "Well, who the hell spray painted the back all this black?" I'm like, "I don't know. Wasn't me." I'm in there spray painting.
Get it like on your face and your hands.
I did some messed ups. I used to put stuff like toys in his Vice and just crank them down and smash them all. That's the best. It's so great. I don't know if anyone experienced this as well, but like with my dad home, I couldn't get away with anything. I couldn't do anything without. "What are you doing?" "Nothing." It was my dad. Well, luckily my dad works 7 days a week, like for my life. And my mom, I could walk past her with a chainsaw behind my back. She'd be like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, nothing." "Okay, have fun." She's like, you know.
So how are you with your kids now then?
So, well, I'm home more than my old man was because he was working all the time. But they're not there yet. They're not of the age to be. Maybe Everett might be a little bit mischievous and get into some stuff, Dennis the Menace type stuff. But we'll see.
Worried about that?
My parents. This is funny too. My parents put like this Pella window in the front of the house. It was like dual pane with the blinds inside, like totally 90, perfect for that time frame. It was expensive, I guess. I don't know what money was back then. So I'm out in the front yard. I'm like, I'm gonna work on my chipping. I've never played golf before. I had like an old club, like old golf club, and I got a golf ball, one golf
ball.
And
swing as hard as you can.
I just knocked this thing straight through their brand new window. And my mom was vacuuming, which I remember this like yesterday. I run inside. I'm like, I'm looking around. My mom had the radio on. She was listening to like Sarah McLachlan or something. I don't know. And vacuuming. And I'm like, she didn't hear it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say a word. I ran outside, take the chipper. I throw it in the backyard, like in the trees, like trying to get rid of all evidence. Only lasted a couple hours. I hear, "Robert!" I'm like, oh, man.
You should have just left.
Like, what did I do? I was like, what? What? "There's a golf ball in the dining room." I said, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. My dad was very angry.
That did not end well?
No, didn't end well. Did not end well. But we all have these stories.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, like probably Everett's age, 5 or 6, I thought that paint was fixable by scrubbing it harder with something to get a scratch off. So my parents had a new car, and I scratched it with my bike, the end.
Yeah.
So I took a wire brush, and I was like trying to get the scratch out.
Is that where you got your obsession now with not having any scratches on cars?
Maybe, but I learned a lesson on that one. Don't do that.
So you haven't got you. That wasn't where that started.
I don't know. Maybe it was just me trying to make sure I didn't get in trouble.
Yeah,
but
like learn how to fix it quick and
everything. Let me try and fix it with a wire brush, but paint is removed.
Yeah.
Not scratches removed at that point, but I didn't know. What are you going to do when you're a kid?
Speaking of cars, though, you're looking at a new car.
Oh, yeah. Big money, though. Big money car.
Got Ninko money.
Roadster Shop. So if anyone wants to go look up Roadster Shop, they're a very high-end shop that does some restorations, and they do really, really crazy work. So they do like chassis. Their paint jobs are $100,000. Like a paint job is $100,000. So if you go on their website and look up their completed projects, like they have a Buick in there. I mean, like the Roadmaster. It's insane. It's beautiful stuff. They make gorgeous cars. So this car is owned by Barry. I can't remember his last name at the top of my head, but the guy's had like multiple cars done there, and it's a '63 Impala with a LS3, but it looks vintage, so it's all like orange, and it's got the plate on. It looks like a 327, old 327 with the old intake and all that stuff. But it's a 6-speed T56. I mean, it's a beautiful car. Beautiful. It was $250,000 to do it, and they didn't paint it. So I was talking to the owner of the shop. He's like, if we painted it, it would have been $350,000.
Wow. It's an expensive paint job.
It's a very expensive paint job. Because I guess it's the hours. I don't know. But their paint jobs are like the best.
Ninko approved?
Oh, more than Ninko approved. They're like a glass. You know, the
what
whole.
What would you do though if you got $100,000 paint job? There's like a little run in it somewhere. Would you be pissed?
There's no way.
I was saying
it wouldn't happen.
Like you'd lose your mind.
Yeah, but it wouldn't. I'd say, look, I'm not paying for it. Like, this has got to be. I'm talking like the best of the best.
Yeah.
So this car was restored. It was a restored Impala that they took, and they frame off, left the paint because it was a good paint job, and then did everything else, like total fabrication, wide body, under wide wheels, everything, metal work, interior. I mean, the car is amazing, but it's $175,000, which, you know, like if I had about 4 of these and I'm at an auction, and I can't say, you know, can't say no. It's It is tempting. It's tempting to do it because those cars, I think, hold their value at that point. You probably don't think so, but you know the cars more than I do. It might bring what, 125, 130 at auction.
130,000.
So then you're losing.
It holds there.
It holds. It holds at there. It wouldn't ever go below that.
Yeah,
but,
unless you damaged it or something like that. But like that, it would hold there.
Yeah.
The problem is that when you spend that kind of money,
it's a beautiful car, man.
You know, you're customizing your own build, so it's not the same thing to the next guy.
Yeah, but it's a classic look. I mean, it's like exterior isn't redone, motor isn't like crazy.
It just
interior,
depends, though, but like you would have a guy that would go pay $250,000 for that Impala if it was all original.
No, not all original. Like it'd have to be like
say it was a certain numbers matching and all that stuff. Like you know what I mean. Like I'm not saying just with an Impala.
I don't think that's shaken.
But I'm saying like
it's
with it's rolled.
I'm just saying like
with it's just certain guys like certain types of cars.
Yeah.
Some like resto mods, some hate resto mods. Some like
they're more
old
like
school hot rods. Some like vintage factory cars.
You just picked up like not a resto mod, like something crazy. Well, it's a Cadillac.
I guess it's considered a resto mod, though.
Is it a resto? I mean, it's got a modern motor in it.
It's a modern motor, but it's it's a chopped top, so it was chopped into a Roadster, a 47.
So there's no chopped top means like no top.
No top.
No convertible.
No convertible.
Nothing if it's raining.
You don't drive it. Would you drive that car in the rain?
No, never. Yeah. But if it hasn't, well, at least you know it's never driven in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody got caught in a rainstorm. No, but it's a 47 Cadillac. 47 or 48. Chopped top. Lowered down.
These are my favorite, by the way. These Castle Islands.
Castle Island's good. LS motor.
India. Hazy pale.
Custom seats.
These aren't very cold. These must not have been in the fridge very long.
They're a little on the warm side.
I think that maybe I should have grabbed from the back.
We get to your house?
No, I stopped on the way here.
They just put them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the car's a pretty cool car. I'm actually excited about it. I might keep that one.
That one's cool. I can't wait to, you know me, with the Ninko eye, get underneath it, look underneath it. What's up there? I don't know.
There's only a few cars that I've had that you've approved of.
So
one of them's like $1 million car or a couple $1 million cars.
The one I have a hard time. So, and this was one of the questions that I had to the owner of the roadster shop. Like a guy that spends that kind of money, there's two types of guys that spend that type of money. They baby and pamper. That's the one type. Yep. Or they destroy and just kill.
Yep.
And they don't care.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's a car. I drive the hell out of it. I do donuts in it. I burn the clutch up. I dump it.
Yeah.
I drive it hard. I'm in a gravel pit with this thing. Because guess what?
It's
a
one
car,
or the other, though.
And I don't care.
It's not like a mixture.
No, you're either Ninko and like crazy and like
you're either driving that car and like there's like an incline in to go to like a supermarket and you're like sideways,
slow,
like just creeping the whole thing. Yeah.
Like I've had all my cars, like the 2016 Z06, I didn't even squeal it. Like I didn't even chirp the tires. Like I was like, oh, it's nice and easy. Like I don't even drive them hard, which I just personally don't. Number one, I think it's silly, and that's how you die. Like driving a car, like a sports car like that, you drive it hard. There's consequences for going fast, and I don't necessarily like going fast. I like just getting to the speed limit and then just stopping, which is fun. Just stop.
You know, like pulled over or anything for speeding?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't had a ticket since college.
Wow.
Knock on wood.
Really?
I just got a warning a couple weeks ago, but it was a setup. It was a 35 that dropped down to a 25, and I was doing 35, and the guy's like, well, you're speeding right there. I said, well, wasn't it just 35, like one street down? He's like, yeah, and then there's the sign. It goes to 25, and I sit right here. I'm like, oh, it's very smart of you to do that, huh? I think at 35, I might not be able to stop for anything, and, what is this?
Jam those brakes.
It's the Autobahn. Like, I'm flying here doing 35. He's like, I'll give you a warning. I said, thanks. I appreciate it. But, no, the last time I got a speeding ticket, I was going – it was funny. I was going to Purdue, and it's right on the border. They're known, like the police just sit right there, and it's a backcountry road, and it's like 45. So I was doing 65. And there's a hill, so they sit on the other side of the hill.
Yeah, so you come up the hill.
I go over the hill. I see him. I go, oh, man. He gets me. Coming back, same hill, other side, he got me. Same cop, 2 tickets, like in the same 24-hour span. Got you again,
Oh, really?
And I had a radar detector. He's like, it didn't work for you, did it? I said, nope, didn't work, sir.
In the Monte Carlo?
Yeah, in the blue Monte Carlo.
That would have been better if that was like the time right after it was scratched, and then you got pulled over after that.
Was
like
bad.
It would have just been a double whammy.
So that's the last speeding ticket. I don't really speed. I really don't. I got pulled. Oh, okay. Going to ESPN, I got pulled over doing like 92 in a 65.
You get a ticket? That would be a big ticket. No, you Ninko'd your way out of that?
Yeah, I did. I honestly, it was at night. I was driving home. I was on like a back road coming back from Connecticut. I can't remember that. That's like not 106, but anyway, it like opens up. And it goes from a 2-lane to it goes from a 2-lane road to a 4-lane road. Then it opens back and then it closes back up. There's a section there, and I really wasn't even paying attention. This was when I was in the 750, the BMW, and like that car, like you could be doing 70 and you don't even. It feels like you're doing 40. Like it's just smooth. Like, so I was just going. I was listening to music. I wasn't paying attention. I guess I was doing 90, and I said, hey, officer, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how fast I was going. He said, I get it. This thing's nice. He's like, wow, it's a nice car. You don't see many 750s here. I don't pull many BMW 750s over. I was like, well, it's a really nice car. It's really smooth. It's fast. You want to give it a go? You want to drive? No, but he just like, all right, slow it down. I said, thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow.
It could have been a ticket, a big one.
Yeah. I've pulled over a bunch. Don't get tickets.
The good thing is when, like, sometimes you can get a guy that's like, I don't care, but most of the time, they're cool. Ninkovic.
I got pulled.
I like you.
Well, last time I got pulled over.
Thank you. Please don't dislike me.
Last time I got pulled over was in a Demon.
That'll get you. Oh, well, it was yellow.
Yeah, it was yellow. Yeah, and the cop kind of gets me, and he's like, "You know where I saw you? Like where I started clocking you from?" And I'm like, no. And he's like, way back on like 101 or something like that. I'm like, I'm on a different highway right now, like 5 miles from there. I'm like, you didn't clock me on, you didn't be on radar. Well, how do you know that? Well, I may or may not have radar, LiDAR, and jammers and everything in here, but it's also from what you're telling me got me was I'm 5 miles away. He goes, that's how fast you were going. I'm like, I'd have to go like 200 miles an hour for you to catch me. Not be able to catch you at this point. I mean, I probably was going fast, but like not like crazy.
The problem is, in certain vehicles, the speed can be deceptive because you don't feel like you're going that fast. Yeah. Like when I'm in a 79 F-150, 65. Yeah, I'm like,
the wheel is this. You're fighting it.
I need to stop at like I'll do 70 in my F-150, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna flip here. Something's bad's gonna happen. Yep. So I go back to like 55, and I'm like, okay, now it's controllable. But you get in anything that's modern, like a Hellcat Red Eye.
Yeah,
like you're doing 85.
It's just like
you're crawling. Yeah. You're at like 1200 RPM.
Things the motor's like, not loud really or anything. No, it's not in high. It's not in high gears or anything. Yeah,
nothing. So
that's what it is. 100%.
Man, I snowmobiled one time last week when I went Wednesday. And my wrist ain't right. I think, 20 years of football has not done great things for my wrist.
It's like carpal tunnel?
I don't know. It gets it's like a weird nervy feel, like on my pinky. Like right here. Could be, I don't know.
Probably the muscles, though, from like you haven't done, like how long, were you riding for?
We did 75 miles. That's it. That's not bad.
Yeah, but how many?
Like 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Yeah.
But you're down the whole 3 hours, though.
No, I was up and down. You stand up and so one time. That's my one time I'm going to ride the snowmobile. Done for the rest of the year. Well, it's 43 degrees, so you get 2 weeks in the season to go by yourself.
You didn't do anything for the first 2 months of the season.
I didn't. Well, we still got a month. If you go up north, you go up to Maine or go up to you go to Berlin, New Hampshire, you check out Mom's Jericho. You go in there, you say, "I know Rob Ninkovich. MSRP below. I'll get you." Yeah, no, you won't.
Yeah.
No, it's a good spot. It's a really good spot.
They go in and say that, and the salesman goes, "Who the hell is that?"
Who the hell's Rob Ninkovich? Yeah. I don't know that guy.
We're almost in Canada here.
Yeah, we
play hockey.
Farthest north city here in New Hampshire. Yeah. I like it up there. Every time I go up there, I love it. I love New Hampshire. Get up there, wide open space, mountains, fresh air. It's good stuff.
You only go there like once a month.
I know. I want to go up more.
Yeah.
If I had a place that I could go to, like a cabin,
I thought.
I would love to. Love to. Well, you can't now because it's snowy. You gotta wait for the spring.
It's coming up though. You have to start planning it now.
I know. But there's I literally own like 1,300 acres. I've been on like 10 acres of it. I'm like, this is cool. But I literally have like I went up to the peak last week. And I was with Joel. He's like, "You see how far you can see here? Like, look out and see how far." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You own all that." I said, "Whoa, it's a lot of land." So I want to go like that way.
Eventually going to explore it all?
I'm going to have to. Yeah. Well, it's better to go in the winter because it's not so like overgrown. We got to cut some access trails and all that stuff. There's a access road, but the trail system itself needs to be, it's a lot of work cutting a trail system.
Yeah, from acres and acres and acres.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. You need like the right equipment, and luckily there's if you open your trails up to the sleds, there's like clubs that'll come and they cut a trail to the peak that literally you couldn't walk through it. It was like trees together. You were like pushing through branches, and they cut it like 12 feet wide for a groomer. Yeah, like I'm talking 5 acres of trail. Like they cut it. I'm like, dude. How long does this take you? They're like 3 days.
Yeah.
And you're volunteering for 3 days?
Yeah.
I had to give him a little bit. It's impressive. It's impressive that, the work that went into it.
Nah, it's a lot of work.
And they come in with they cut all the trees back, and then they come in with a scraper. They scrape it all out. They move everything to the side. But, no, it's cool. Berlin it's a cool spot. It is up there. It's 3 hours from here.
Yeah.
But
it's up there.
It is up there.
I think it's a good time now.
Let's take a break.
Let's come back and maybe discuss something about the Patriots quarterbacks.
Jimmy G.
Not going to happen.
He's coming.
All right, we'll be back.
All right, we'll be back.
So we're back, episode 22. I think it's time to talk about the Patriots quarterback situation. The biggest offseason in pretty much New England's history, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
Snap it to a Slim Jim. Full of spice.
We all know who you think the quarterback's going to be. Because
Well,
you haven't moved
It's going
from
to
that.
be Jimmy G.
Yeah.
If I was Macho Man Randy Savage, I'd
then-
tell you right now that Jimmy G will be the quarterback.
But then who's going to be the quarterback in San Francisco?
I don't know.
It
depends on
has
what
to
they
happen
get.
that way, right?
I don't know. I mean,
They're actually going to give Jimmy
round
G up
pick-
and put Nick Mullins in there.
Look, I was reading some reports that the Patriots are exploring all options at quarterback.
Yeah, they'll do
all
everybody.
trade options at quarterback, which tradable players, there's few. There's few tradable contracts, tradable players. I was surprised. I was shocked that Carson Wentz got traded. That contract was freaking ridiculous, and the Colts
Are screwed.
I said this about the head coach. I'm having a brain fart. Frank Wright. So if he stood on the table, I want Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I want to trade for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
If Carson Wentz sucks,
He's gone.
he's fired too.
Yeah.
They're going to fire him because he stood on the table to get Carson Wentz. They're paying Carson Wentz like $35 million or $40 million, something stupid. He's the third highest.
Cap's $180 million.
He is the third highest cap hit of all players in the NFL for the next 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's outside of Mahomes at $500 million.
So it's Mahomes. I think it's Deshaun.
I think it's Rodgers,
I thought Deshaun got more in 4 years than Rodgers.
but not cap hit though.
So he's 3. That's all I know is
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
3,
yeah.
which
I think it's wrong.
which is a big freaking hit, man. That's a big hit. And if he doesn't do well, like that's good riddance.
The trade
He's
market's
gone.
tough because, it looks good, right? Hey, Patriots trade for Deshaun Watson or trade for Russell Wilson or all that, but you have to give
No,
up.
Russell Wilson. I don't want Russell Wilson either. I don't want Russell Wilson.
But
you're
you
gonna have to give
3
up
first-round
so
picks?
much. You have to give up. You're gonna give up at least
3
a
first rounders.
5. If you have 3 first-round picks and one of them is a great player, you're giving up possibly 5 years of great production, and then you have to pay him.
But even if you had, even if 2 of those first round picks were decent players, you still have then a great player, 2 decent players at cheap contracts. And you can start building.
I
around
personally
them.
think they should draft a first-round quarterback, maybe trade up.
I think you should trade up and get Lance.
Trade up. You think Lance?
Yeah.
I like Mac Jones. I think
I
Mac
don't
Jones
know
would
if
be.
you have to trade up to get Mac Jones. I think you can stay put.
You think
and
he'll
get
be
Mac
there at
Jones.
15?
It's just tough because it's all over the board because you get some guys coming out saying he's like the next best quarterback ever.
So Bill's picking up the phone, calling up Nick. So Nick, where are we at?
Give me all the reports.
Yeah, exactly.
But you see that the 2 receivers from Alabama said that they would have rather taken throws from Mac Jones than Tua.
How about this? How about one of the receivers? Did you read about the receiver with the Colts that doesn't want to give up his number
To Wentz?
to Wentz?
No.
He's like, no, I'm not giving up 11.
Wentz is nobody. Like, why would he give it
I
up?
get it, but guess what? I just want to give a note out to any receiver. You don't say no to the quarterback because how do you make plays and make
It
money?
stinks.
Hey, 11? Nah. Somebody else.
Wentz stinks.
Hey, he's not good.
Like, it's one thing if Brady comes up, right? Godwin's a great receiver. He gives up his number to Brady because Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. I get that part.
Yeah.
What
was that?
Wentz
What's
done?
Brady again?
I've always said he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
I know. But you made fun of me because I was always on Tampa.
I still think it's funny that you're always
Got to go with TV.
that you love.
You can't bet against the guy that got you, multiple Super Bowls.
Are you like everybody else that's betting against Belichick now?
I'm not betting against Bill either.
I think they're going to have a resurgence this year with that much cap space. I was reading the other day, like you can
60. What do they got? Like 60-something million.
67 million, but they can extend like Devin McCourty. They can extend.
Here's the problem: you can't
Hightower.
extend certain guys. You start extending guys that you feel like you're just extending to help your cap situation. That's when you get in trouble because you're extending guys.
It just depends, but you just don't know what their cap situation is. Like they plan it out for years and years and years, right? So they know what it is. Like year 3, maybe they have more cap space, year 3 than they do now. But the problem with the cap space is they have to get a quarterback soon because once free agency opens, if you're Hunter Henry,
they have to trade.
if you're
they have
Allen
to trade
Robinson,
they have to trade for a quarterback before free agency opens.
yeah.
So they need to trade like
or
now,
sign, I guess.
Or
like
but
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
If they don't, then they're going to draft a quarterback.
But I think you trade for a quarterback and you draft a quarterback. I'm not saying trade for like Russell Wilson or something like that, but trade for like Marcus Mariota.
I don't like that trade. I think that's a silly trade.
No?
Of course it is.
But if you give up a 4th-round pick for Mariota and you drafted a quarterback like Mac Jones,
did you see like
Lance,
Cam Newton and like a camper at his camp?
Yeah, going at it. He just keeps saying I'm rich.
Okay. So one of the like issues that I've had or always have had with Cam in general is I feel like if in that particular moment, that is a good teaching moment. Like for a young kid that's cocky in front of his friends that has nothing to lose, but to insult you, and to like see your reaction to it. And like, if that was me, I would have said, yeah, I'm a free agent. Would you like to make it to the NFL? Would you like to get a full scholarship to a great college?
#1 pick.
Would you like to be, MVP in the league one day? Well, just listen to what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I am a free agent, and I've had a lot of success in my career, and I want to see you do well. I want to see you get a scholarship. I want to see you make it to the league. I want to see you have a young kid tell you that you're a free agent.
Yeah.
But with that attitude, you're not going to make it. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So let's get together. Let me talk to you a little bit instead of I'm rich. You're rich, but there's a lot of rich people that are laughing at you because they're way rich.
Yeah.
And like football rich isn't that rich. Like Mahomes, that's rich.
Though.
That's
Tom
rich.
Brady.
Tom Brady. I'm saying quarterback money is different, but like a linebacker that signs a $50 million contract and government takes half, $25 million in the real world is not that much compared to.
If that lasts you for 60 years, it's not that.
It's not that much.
Yeah.
It's not that much, especially if you live a certain lifestyle and your hats cost $50,000. But
I mean, players nowadays too, you got to spend a lot of your own money on, on conditioning and, all that stuff.
You just spend a lot of money in general because when you start to have, I mean, look, I didn't make nearly as much as what some of these guys make. And if you're smart and you continue to work and you have other things that are working and you
have to have other things after.
You have to have other things after. Some guys don't have anything after.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when things they just dwindle. I mean, who was the first round pick for the Raiders? Jamarcus Russell made like $70 million.
Yeah, because that was like right before they changed contracts. Right?
If you make $70 million before taxes and you have 36 or 30 million in the bank, your interest alone, if you stuck that thing in just a 2 or 3% interest, something really safe, you should be able to spend it unless you're a complete moron and buying Ferraris and mansions and you got 7 people on a payroll.
$175,000 Impalas.
I guess I'm not buying it.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I could sell a few. I'd have to sell a few things.
It's not just buying the one. It's buying like 20.
Well, I mean, here's my, I guess, $175,000 for an Impala. If I sold the 65 vet for 70 and I sold the 04 Z06 for 25, and that's 100 right there.
Yeah.
And then you put 175, you buy that car and you get 150 back for 125 and you lose whatever. That's just like if I bought an Escalade and drove that for 5 years and lost.
No, you're right with it.
50 to 60% on it.
Or you'd be like, what was the baseball player that the reports came out signed the big contract? The guy from the Padres. Tatis Jr. I think is what it is, right?
What he get?
Well, he got like $300 million.
Wow.
But no, he signed a deal with this company, like before, like when he was in the minors. He got like an advance of, I don't know the numbers. Let's just say it's $1 million in advance. But he had to sign over to them that he was going to give them 10% of all his future contracts. That's 10% before the taxes come up, before the agent's fees come out, and all that. So it's something like that.
They were probably like, yes.
Well, that's the thing is they bank on it, right? Like, they just bank on that. That was the first time this company hit on a big player, and obviously they hit on a $300 million contract. I think it's 10%.
So that means
they get $30
million. $300 million.
Yeah.
So if you have $300 million, 38% goes to the government.
No, nope, not in California. 52% between federal and state.
So 52%.
So he goes to 150.
Federal and state. That's 150.
30 to this company. Yep. So you're at 120. And then how much to the agent? Like
3-4%, something like that.
No, I think baseball is like 6 or 7%.
So you're making 20% of your freaking $300 million, which is still a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money, but it just kind of sucks when you look at it that way.
Dude, that makes you like.
Yeah, but
that would make me vomit.
Back to the quarterback situation. You would rather have Jimmy Garoppolo at like $25 million a year than have like Mariota at a 1-year deal at like $6 million and draft a quarterback and have that bridge.
Yeah. Mario's not that good.
I know he's not that good. I know he's not that good, but like
you want somebody that you feel like. I feel like Jimmy's good. He just needs to stay healthy
with the cast of offensive weapons they have.
I don't know, but they have $60 million to go spend on it.
He comes back from throwing to George Kittle to Dalton Keene.
They'll have to go get somebody. They're going to go get the kid from the Chargers.
They can't because he literally came out and said that listen, I'm going to look at what quarterback is on the team before I sign somewhere.
Yeah, so imagine if Jimmy G's there now. What if they trade for him now?
I just don't. The only way that would happen is if the 49ers are going to take a quarterback in that draft. And even that's difficult because you don't. I mean, I guess he can start a first-year quarterback. It's worked out some places.
I mean, my ideal situation would be them to draft a quarterback, invest heavily with that money that they have in cap space
on
weapons, load up. You can have a great defense. You're going to get a few key pieces back, build that defense out, win on defense. You're not going to win by 1,000,000 points. You're not going to look like the Chiefs, but you're going to slowly chip away. You're going to have a great record. You're going to win a division. You win on defense. Offensively, you have a young quarterback similar to Tom in 2001. He was a new guy. Nobody knew Tom.
Yeah.
But they won the Super Bowl, not because their offense was that crazy, because they had a great defense.
Defense was unbelievable.
They had an unbelievable defense. So the first 5-6 years of Tom and his legacy was basically learning how
defensive.
It was defensive learning, and then from like 2006 on, he took over, and then 2007 he had that crazy year, and then he got hurt in 2008.
His best offensive years though were the years that no Super Bowls were won.
Mm-hmm.
As his best stats.
Yeah.
The Patriots have always won with good defense.
Every Super Bowl that Thomas won, he's had a top 10 defense.
Yeah. Every single time.
Every time.
Yeah.
So the whole concept defense wins championships, that's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
So you can't have a defense. In the Patriots last year, they were they had way too many pieces and moving parts. So they had a first down defense. Hey, run out there. They had a second down defense. Hey, get off the field. Every single down they had a new group of guys running out there. Third down. Get up there. Third down.
I think the thing with them, though, with the Patriots on defense is they have good pieces. They just need they're missing a couple, right? They're missing a couple on the defensive line, maybe a linebacker or two, but they got a really good secondary.
The secondary is key because your secondary makes your defensive line.
They have one of the best safety groups in the NFL.
Your secondary helps your pass rush. If you have a great secondary that can hold off 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. You hope by 4,000 you got a guy that can get to
they don't
the
have a pass rusher though. I mean,
they don't. They need to get an elite pass rusher.
But
J.J. Watt, get J.J. Watt.
Yeah, sign J.J. Watt for a 1-year, $10 million deal. But then J.J. Watt though would teach some of the guys too. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. Leadership,
teach Uche and all that, and get them into
leadership. How to be a pro. All that stuff. I mean, that all really, really is effective for young players. I mean, except I don't know. I mean, young athletes these days are different. Go do it first on the field. Go make plays. Go be a starter. Go win football games.
No, it's not the way it is.
It's not the way it is. It's not the way it is anymore, unfortunately.
Now it's I got drafted in the third round.
First round. If you're a first rounder, you have a fan page. And
it used to be first round, but now it's fifth round picks that have it.
Free agents are selling T-shirts.
I mean, there was third round
underdog.
There was third round draft picks that had draft parties going on in the background.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you have a draft. I had a draft party,
but it wasn't on TV.
No, they didn't care about me. Who's that? Ninkovich the plumber? No offense to the plumbers, but that guy, he got drafted. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, you had.
He'll have a great special teams career.
But you had family over, right? It was just just like
friends
aunts and uncles,
and
and all that stuff.
But it was after I got drafted. It wasn't like during the draft.
There's fourth-round picks with like their agents there and like their social media expert and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's that's the world you're in.
The best is in like 2021 now, like to interview a player and they're I can't wait to win my first Super Bowl and make it to my first Pro Bowl as a rookie. I'm excited. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Like,
where are you drafted?
What?
5th round.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to run down on kickoff first.
Yeah. Brady screwed that up though because he was picked 199, so now everybody thinks that
the next Tom.
He was picked 199.
Well, I do love avocado. I love avocados.
I'll eat some ice cream that way. But no, for the quarterback situation for the Patriots, I think it's you get a veteran guy like Mariota, like Tyrod Taylor, like Ryan Fitzpatrick, in draft. You take Mac Jones.
You got to take Mac Jones
or Trey Lance.
I would think that if they draft Mac Jones, they get like Fitzpatrick or somebody like that.
But what's wrong with that though? Like you have that guy start, they can win games.
He's good. I like him. He's got a great mentality.
And then halfway through the season, he goes on the bench, and that guy takes over.
I'm sure he's sick of that though.
Yeah, 100%. But
he's played for the Bills.
But that's the role though.
He's played everywhere.
I do feel bad for him because
he's played for Tampa, he's played for Miami, he's played for the Bills, he's played for the Jets.
But the thing with Miami, though, if he started the whole season, they would have made the playoffs.
They would have made the playoffs. They would have been a better team. But it's upper management.
Yeah. Well, it's what sells tickets.
Hey, Beefalo. Yeah,
I was at the game.
You're gonna have to bench this guy because we have a first rounder. Yep. Jersey sales are up. Yep. Oh, yep. You got it. No.
Do you hear
Do you have it? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks.
Yeah. Do you hear what they play like at a first down at the Miami games?
What do they say?
I was at the Miami game, and every time they get a first down, it's Tua. Like you have a running back, Gaskin running for the first down. Tua.
No way.
I was at the game. Back? I was listening to it.
That doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of things that don't make sense to me in this world we live in today.
What would you think though if you were on that team and you're like, what the?
I would say money makes the world go round.
This guy threw for 130 yards, ran for 40 yards, threw a pick, and 1 touchdown. Our defense played amazing.
I mean, if you're Miami, you try and get Watson, but Nick Caserio doesn't even call him Watson; he calls him the player. That's gonna be a nightmare. If I'm Watson and I don't want to play there, I'm sitting out this year. I'm sitting out.
They're not trading him.
He's going to sit out. He's not going to play in 2021. That's my prediction. He's not playing in 2020. He's already got enough money. He's going to be like, all right, I'm going to sit out this year.
The thing for the Texans, though, in 2022, they can trade him for the same amount of capital, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
It doesn't change.
Yeah, but for him, it's like, all right, don't trade me. You're going to lose every game. You're going to look terrible. The city's going to hate you. Players are going to turn on you. You might as well just trade me and get 3 first-rounders. Do it.
But the problem is, though, that I don't see with that. I get he's upset with the team and all that, and I get you want to be on a good team, but like if you go to a team that gives up 3 first-round picks, a good player or 2, a second-round pick, and like a third-round pick, what future do you have? You end up on the Texans. They did that already.
You're saying if the Texans trade away Watson?
No, I'm saying with Watson going to another team.
Oh,
like whatever team he goes to,
if Watson goes to Miami, they're not screwed.
Yes, they are.
They're not screwed. They have some great pieces already.
They have some great pieces, but they have all this draft capital still there that they could keep building that.
With Tua? You think Tua's the answer?
I don't think they should have drafted Tua.
Well, they did.
I understand that.
If you could trade Tua, with part of that, they have a third overall pick, they have a 16, and then they have a 36. So if you give them 2 first-rounders, a 36 pick, and Tua, 4 people.
I don't think Caserio will take that, though, because I don't think he wants Tua.
No, Caserio doesn't want. I don't know, but Caserio just he's trying to be the big guy, and he's like Bill, like the player will play.
Do you think they told Caserio going into that, like, hey, by the way, we're not going to tell Watson. He's going to be pissed off.
I think Caserio doesn't care about any. Like I think Caserio's like, you're going to pay me $30 million. Okay, thank you. $30 million. He got $30 million. He's got $30 million to be the GM.
You think he knew
about the whole
Watson? Like they didn't tell Watson what was going on, and he was going to demand a trade.
Well, the reason he's pissed is because Caserio was hired. So
I know, but he didn't do anything with that, right?
No,
you think
I'm sure
he didn't know.
I get it, but at the same,
I mean, if I was Caserio interviewing, I would have said, "Hey,
I would at least say the guy's
name."
Job, it would irk me that you won't say my name.
Yeah, I know, but I would at least say, if I was Caserio,
because you know what that is? That's a power trip by the GM making the person be a player, and not an actual player, like the person.
100%.
Like if I was just like, yeah, this person I'm with every day, this person, you're like, what? My name's Dan. Like,
yeah, no, but I don't understand that because Belichick always talks up, all the other players and everything by name, right?
Maybe Casario's trying to drive home the point that you are the player and we are ownership and we are the managers and we control the narrative with if you play because you're under contract and if you don't want to play, that's your choice. But you're going to be fined $25,000 a day while you're gone.
If you were Nick Caserio, though, before you took that job, wouldn't you say, hey, can I sit down and talk to Deshaun Watson first before I take the job? I mean, I would.
Maybe, yeah.
That's your franchise.
But on the flip side of that, if someone gave you $30 million, you might just be like, I'm the GM. I can control this thing. I got power here now.
But the thing is, he made a lot of money with the Patriots.
He didn't make $30 million. He wasn't making anywhere close to $1 million.
I don't know. You never know because they don't disclose that stuff.
I mean, the way that
would you be mad if he made $30 million when you were there?
He didn't make $30 million.
But I'm saying, would you be mad?
No, I wouldn't be mad because
yes,
everyone's got to make money.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in, man. Bill makes 20 plus a year.
Who knows what he makes? It could be.
I mean, he makes 20 something, and then he tells a player like, "Sorry, we don't have any money for you."
I think he owns part of the Patriots.
He might secretly somewhere.
Yeah, like Brady when he had his deal. Do you think he paid any rent for the TB12
$1 a month or something?
Yeah. He didn't pay any money for
then
it.
You got a guy with 800 square feet paying 10 G's a month.
He's got 5,000 square feet
he's got
next to the stadium.
6 different
overlooking the stadium itself. Yeah, he didn't pay a dime for it.
I think that there's a point where, management coaches are just like players. Like they want to make money, they want to provide for their family, and if they have an opportunity to go make $30 million, they're going to do that. And if a player doesn't like me because I'm the new GM here and he already had an experience with the Patriots and he doesn't want to do that again. But, when they signed Caserio, one of his tweets was like, some things never change, right?
Yeah.
So he was pissed that they signed a Patriot guy.
No, I think he was mad because what they're saying, he was mad because the owner told him that he would have at least some involvement in the GM search.
Why? Why would a player have any involvement in that?
But the thing is, some people just want to know what's going on.
You think owners care about what a player thinks? Like, they're billionaires. And they're billionaires because they're smart and they feel like everything that they do is a winning recipe.
But you don't think that Robert Kraft or Bill Belichick, when McDaniels was leaving to the Colts, like they didn't tell Brady what was going on? I think they left him in the dark.
I mean, I think that they realize that they don't have an option at offensive coordinator and they don't have a guy that's going to come in and replace him. So let's not make him go and make $20 million with the Colts. I will give you $5 million and we'll give you an option to be the head coach here when Bill retires. Like that's a possibility. I don't think they told. Because he had taken the job. He had taken the job.
I think they told Brady before that, like, hey, he's going to go take the job.
So what do you think Brady said?
I think what happened is Brady said, no, I don't want that. And that's when they paid the money to have McDaniel stay.
I think that they explored all options at offensive coordinator. They couldn't find somebody that they felt was a good fit.
You had Brian Dabble there or whatever.
No, he was gone. He was gone at that point.
You could have brought him back, though.
I think they approached somebody in the organization and asked them if they would want to be the offensive coordinator. They denied it, and then they felt like they had no other options.
Deny it, though?
I don't know.
Well, I get some Ninko inside information.
I don't know. Somebody that's not there and is a head coach somewhere else now, but they didn't want to be the OC.
So going back to the quarterback situation, do you really think that they'd be better off with Garoppolo or better off with a veteran bridge and draft a quarterback?
I think they would be better off with a healthy Garoppolo. But if they can't get that deal done, then their next best option is to draft a quarterback, get a bridge guy for a year, and then invest in a receiver, a tight end, an inside linebacker, a pass rusher, and a couple other guys with that.
You can get a lot.
You can get a lot.
They have.
Exactly. So you can get a bunch.
Prices will be down.
And they have how many draft picks? I don't know.
They have a first.
But didn't the cap go down from what it was supposed to be?
It went up. Well, from what it originally was.
Yeah.
Then they were saying it was going to be 175, and then it went to like 180. I think it's 185 now.
Yeah. That's better than they thought, right?
Yeah, well, they pick up more that way.
Yeah.
But they can still do some stuff, some cap maneuvering and all that. They can theoretically keep, though, Tooney and Andrews.
They won't keep Tooney.
They have to keep Andrews.
Andrews will be back. I think that he'll be back just based on.
I think he'll either be back.
They need leadership in there. They don't have like a bridge guy. They have old guys that are the leaders.
Yeah,
you have McCourty, you got Hightower, you got Chung.
You don't have that.
You don't have like
that
middle, like he's going to be here for the next 5-6 years. Because in 5 years, they're not going to be there.
It's old to young. Right
exactly. Now. They got old guys and they got young guys. They have a couple middle guys that have been there, but they haven't been there for like any Super Bowls except for David.
Yeah.
You know, so David, they're going to have to pay him.
Worst case scenario, they're going to tag David.
They should pay him $10 million. I mean, what's the bet? Like the,
I think it's like
the center, the best center
projected
makes
contract was like 4 year, $32 million.
He should make 4 years 40. Give him 4 years 40 with 25 to sign, guaranteed. He'll sign it today. Give him 10 a year. He'll sign it today.
Kick that agent out there, and Ninko gets the.
It's easy.
The 2%.
It doesn't have to be this hard, guys. Listen up. Don't have to be hard. What do you want? Okay, you don't need to be the highest paid guy. We don't want to make you the highest paid guy. You want to be here still. We don't want to make you the laughing stock. Where do you want to be? Okay, the highest paid guys. The highest paid guys 13 a year. The lowest paid guy. I mean, or the top 5 guys, if you're within a range from 9.5 to 10.5, is that acceptable? Yes. Deal done.
Yeah. I find it disheartening though that deal's not done yet.
They don't care. It's just a person. They're just a player.
Just caring though, because if you're trying to get a quarterback to go there, right? Like, say you said, I'm not saying this is happening, but say you said, okay, Deshaun Watson's our guy. We're gonna give him 3 first-round picks, right? You have to get him to waive his no trade clause. Wouldn't it work where you go, listen, we have David Andrews our center. You know, we have these rookie guards. We have all this stuff on our offensive line. We're then going to go out and go sign Allen Robinson. We're going to draft, whatever it is.
Yeah,
you would have a better pitch to people.
But
what's your pitch
but
right
also
now?
There's also a thought process of, well, David Andrews was a free agent, and there's always a big amount of there's a pool of free agents.
Yeah,
there's a pool of guys who can go find somebody. Like they don't. They don't value like this guy has to be the guy or else we're screwed. Like
they do.
No, they don't. They don't. That's not how they think. It's not. It's you have your scouts and you pay these guys tons of money to go be scouts and they've had so many people that have been free agents come in and play a ton of great football for them at such a low cost that it's not like they're like, oh, we can't do this again. You know, we'll do it again. We'll find another one. We'll do it again. There's 17,000 Division I seniors out there that are looking for a job. You know, but I think but it would be smart for them. It would be smart for them to pay David.
Yeah,
keep David here.
To be honest,
he's a leader. He's a great football player. He had an injury. He missed a full year. Came back, played the full year. Hasn't missed a game since. Like.
What would be smart is trying to sign both Tooney and Andrews.
That
and
wouldn't
get a
happen,
rookie
though.
quarterback.
Of course,
because then you can do it. You know, you cut like Cannon, right? You save some money there. You sign Tooney, you sign Andrews, you have Mac Jones as your quarterback or Trey Lance as your quarterback if you trade up, and you've got a good foundation. Then you have the next start to the next type dynasty, right? You draft some linebackers, you sign some linebackers, you sign some defensive ends or whatever, and then keep that rate going. You gonna drink that?
Oh
God.
Oh God. Oh, it smells
Come
weird.
On. Just take a shot of it. Oh God.
It doesn't taste right. I think there's seal has been broken. It's not. That's terrible.
What did it taste like?
Metal.
I told you that.
I know, but like even more. I peed. All right, let's take a break. Yeah. I gotta go wash my mouth out.
That was disgusting.
All right, so we're back. Final segment here. We're going to dive into a few things. Starting with, what is that shirt?
Oh, Mike Tyson shirt.
Everyone has, what does that say? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
How much would it take for you to get right hand full-blown hit from Mike Tyson?
Wouldn't be much. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, I got knocked out by Mike Tyson?
Yeah. I mean, he was the greatest fighter.
My brain would just like, and it would never wake up. I don't think.
Do you remember? Did you ever pay for like the pay-per-view fights
when I was a kid?
Tyson? Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Tyson Holyfield fight.
Ear bite.
It was not the ear bite. It was It was the one that got knocked down.
Yeah, that's the first one.
The one that he lost. I remember that one. We were at my buddy Mike Musio's house. He rented it.
Heavyweight fighting is like one of the best things in the world. Like good heavyweight fighting, and there hasn't been a long time. You know, Fury and Wilder are coming into it, but
dude, heavyweight fighting is like 260. Just yuck. Like dudes getting rocked.
Tyson was scary though.
He come in. He's got the bop.
Yeah, and just knock people out.
Oh,
I'll never forget the Peter McNeely fight.
You had the bob.
Yeah, he knocked McNeely down 3 times in like 45 seconds.
I just love it when they do the slow-mo, and he's just like yumming them. They're like, ugh, and all the sweat in their hair is just like it's like a mist.
Their face kind of like
it's like a mist.
On one side. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's damage right there. I watch like UFC too, and they just had like the heavyweight fight. And I'm talking like the dude got uppercut, he was knocked out, and he like fell back, ging, frozen, and then like 2 more, yum, yum, and his head's like, it's brutal. It's like modern gladiators.
No, UFC is brutal, especially on some of those ones.
Some crazy knockouts. They don't like, man, it's
crazy
brutal.
in there though, like the weight class. You know, like
that's like Dana White. He's a New England fan. He loves the Patriots. He loved Tom Brady.
Here,
yeah. But that guy, talk about like taking a risk. I mean, they used to have like UFC back in the day was like
karate gis on.
It was they had like Tank. What's his name? They had these like
Tank Abbott.
Tank Abbott, like these big fat guys, like throwing big blows. Like they weren't athletes.
I can see his face.
Not Iceman, not Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah. No.
Well, I used to like in like 2006, like I was really into it. When they had Forrest Griffin, like I love Forrest Griffin. Like I was a big Forrest Griffin fan. Still am. He was like Stefan Bonner, Forrest Griffin. Like that was like the first Ultimate Fighter. Like that was the first fight. Like that was a war. These dudes were just bloodied, and like those dudes are. You got to have a certain, like, you got to be nuts. You got to be a little bit nuts. You got to have a little bit craziness to you.
The way they fight, you have to. Because, like, you know, you go to, like, a middleweight.
Like, they don't have, like, they're basically just covering their knuckles so they don't split your skin open. But they're like fists. It's like fists.
Yeah. But you go to, like, a middleweight boxing, right? Those fights are cool because they go, like, 12 rounds of, you know, nobody's going down. You know, it's fighting and all that. Heavyweight boxing, obviously, people go down. But UFC, some of those guys don't even go down, though. Like, they take a beating.
No, the ones that are crazy are like the knees, like, or the kicks. Like you take a knee to the face and then you get knocked out, and then as you're falling, you smash your head against it, and then they get a
couple.
Then they get
shots.
more. They get more until they get taken off. I was just watching the Noons Rousey, I think, and she was just getting tagged. Ronda Rousey. She was like stepping on her foot the wrong way. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, that speaks about it. I talked to Ryan Roach the other day, who runs Fight Locker. But they're going to have fights obviously coming up soon now since some of the restrictions are going away. They asked like if we could be like a guest judge on like one of the fights. I'm like, yes.
Of course I would.
I will do that.
I don't like seeing guys that don't know how to fight. Like, you know, like
a rough and rowdy.
Yeah.
Barstool.
Like that. I hate that. I mean, I went to the one in Boston. It was entertaining, but it's still terrible. Like nobody knows how to throw. Like they don't know how to fight. Like it's like, dude, you're dropping your hands. You're just throwing from your shoulders. You're not rolling into this stuff. You're not like using your legs or your hips. You're not defending yourself.
Well, it's just like throws from up here.
Yeah, you know, like they're fighting like they're like this. They're dropping their hands and they're just getting like. It's like learn how to move a little bit. I mean, I like boxing. Boxing. I used to train in New Orleans. Old trainer Toby, my buddy Toby was like a.
The Patriots, didn't you guys have like an MMA type guy that?
No, not an MMA. They just have. I think. What for the Patriots?
A coach for the Patriots.
Oh, that's he's not an MMA guy. He's just a pass rush guy. Chan something
like that. Yeah.
Chan. But anyway, but I would go like this is when I was young. I'd do the mitts. I'd do like the training for it because as far as cardio is concerned, there's nothing harder than rounds.
Yeah.
Like nothing harder.
Like 3-minute rounds.
You're so exhausted, and when you're getting hit. You know, someone's hitting you and you're exhausted, like you can't quit. You can't just say time out. Like, you got to freaking fight back, or you got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
It's one of the most intense sports because you have to use your brains. You have to be smart. You have to understand technique. You have to understand timing. You have to understand, like, when am I going to empty the tank here? When am I going to hold back? When am I is this guy going to tire himself out? Let him swing away. There's a lot of things that go into it. Even the mitts, like you're doing 1-2s, the 3s, combos, give me a 1-2-3, like it's just, there's so many different things you got to think about. And those guys that have been doing since they were kids, it's just like, they're just natural about, like, it's just second nature. It's like riding a bike.
It's a golf swing.
They don't have to think. It's just like, okay. And it's like football players in general. When I watch a football player like throw mitts or throw any like type of punch, most football players, they're taught to like push, and like it's all like rigid, and it's all like the best boxers or like the guys that I've seen that they snap their punches. Yeah, they like their shoulders are all part of, like, you're here, and when you're throwing this punch, you're almost using your whole shoulder, and it's like a whip, and it goes out as fast as it comes back. Yeah. And the second one's set up with everything you're doing with your shoulders.
So how about one of your former NFL players, Greg Hardy? He's an MMA
UFC, yeah.
He got knocked out the last time.
He did. I mean,
it's not just about being the biggest and strongest.
No, it's not. It's about it's technique. It's all technique. It's even, I mean, you could go against a wrestler, it takes you down, and taps you out. It's like there's different styles. There's guys that are stand-up guys. There's ground and pound guys. Those elbows too, like you see those you get on the ground, somebody's in full mount, and they're just hammering you with an elbow, like a sharp elbow, and you're just
out cold.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And the undercards, like, you might be lucky to make 10 G's.
They don't in UFC?
Yeah.
Don't make anything.
5 G's, 10 G's, you get out there, you get KO'd for $5,000.
It was really McGregor is one of the first, like,
he branded himself well.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing too. Is like nowadays, if you have a big following on social media, I mean, look at The Rock. Like, he's got like 200 million followers. He comes up, you come up with a tequila, and you sell more than anyone because you just push it. You're like,
see, he has a new show out.
Yeah, the Young Rock. Yeah,
or whatever.
He's on a lot of protein and hard work.
No, he definitely.
That's how you get big and strong.
People forget.
Oh, he works. You don't listen. You can't get big and strong like that without working hard.
What was his
but
first?
You can't get that big.
What was his first stage
taking
name?
Something else.
For the WWF. What was his first stage name?
I don't know.
Rocky Maivia.
Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
But that's another thing too. Like, you don't look like that unless you're on like growth or something. He's on something. You can't just eat right and look that. You can't get that big at 45. Because at a certain point in his career, when he stopped wrestling, he got off of stuff, and he looks like a different
person. Isn't he older than that, though?
I think he's 45 or 46. He's not close to 50.
To fact check this one. 48.
Is he 48?
Yeah, will be on May 2nd. Will be 49.
His heart's got to be the size of a watermelon. I mean, you can't lift like that and not have a massive heart.
I mean, look at that.
I went to the cardiologist. You know what he said? You lift a lot, your heart gets thick, big, and like just. That's why a lot of those.
Bands now?
What's that?
You doing the bands now?
I lift. I do more circuit training than anything. So like yesterday, I did like a 48-minute circuit, and I burned like 1,000 calories. So you're just constantly going. Only scary thing is I get the notifications on my Apple Watch. So like right now, my heart rate's 45, but at night it gets down to like 36.
So like call an ambulance.
It's like every other second. It's like. Yeah, like my resting heart rate is 45 right now.
Does an alert go off on it?
I had 15 alerts the other day.
I forgot you got an iWatch.
Yeah, I had 15 alerts like the other night.
Does it pair up to the iPhone 3?
Yeah, that works.
Oh, okay.
I had 15 alerts. Your heart is below 40 beats a minute. I'm like, ugh. I talked to the cardiologist. He said you're in just elite shape. I say, oh, thank you.
Really, at like a low resting heart rate?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have a low resting heart rate, your heart's just can pump the blood. Do you not
feel things in like your fingers and toes at some point?
What do you mean? I feel great.
Yeah, but I mean,
so like when I did a workout yesterday,
like pumping blood.
Well, my heart's strong enough to pump the blood through my body with less beats.
Okay.
So like oh crap, I gotta stop this. When I did that interval, my range in my heart was like 130 to 150. So, I mean, if you're in good shape, your heart doesn't have to pound like 180 to like work out.
Yeah.
So it's something I've been doing my whole life. So I've been working out since I was 15 years old, like running. And my heart's probably this big. It's probably massive, I'm probably going to have a massive heart attack at one point. Just I shouldn't laugh about that. It'll happen eventually. Hopefully not in the next 30 years, but I might be cutting grass at like 75.
You'd be in your 60s then.
I don't know. At what point does the 1,000 head hits catch up to you? 65, 70?
I think it would have kicked in already, though.
No, not in your 30s. I'm 37 years old. I'm young.
Pretty old.
Some guys are still playing at 37. Tom's 43.
Yeah.
His coconut hasn't been smashed, though. Maybe a few times. He's had a few.
You drink 9 gallons of water a day?
No, I drink my own urine. No, I'm kidding. It's right here. This is urine. This is urine. No, I mean I try to eat decent. I try to drink water, except for today. I'm having a beautiful Castle Island fever.
How many days do you have more beers during the day? Like
no,
most
I don't
days
drink.
Of the week?
No, I only drink usually weekends, and when we do this, I just have a beer or two. I don't drink usually. Not during the week because I'm trying to work out. Like in the last couple months, I've been trying to consistently work out a lot. Like 4 days a week, weekend Peloton. Before that, I was drinking with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
Me and my wife would pop a bottle of wine. We'd have, a little margarita. Have a beer. I'd have a beer. Cut back. I've cut back in the last month. I've cut back.
Yingling Lights.
Those are good. They're like H2O.
You have one of those?
Yeah. I need
Every
to
night.
stop playing with this. People are going to be like, what's he doing?
No, I mean, that's the...
I think 3 weeks. Old man Ninko's coming to town.
Oh, he's going to come?
We got to order a white. We have to order a white with the black rims and the tan interior.
I have one.
Telluride. Let's save it for him. We'll surprise him. We'll surprise him on the show.
You going to bring him on the show?
Yeah. I'll come on the show.
That'll be interesting.
He's got the vaccine. He's double vaccinated.
So that's why it's coming?
Yeah. They're driving out. I told him rent a car, turn in your lease, and then just drive the new car back.
They going to? Or are they just going to drive the Buick?
No. I think they're going to do it.
They're going to drive a Tesla, take 3 days to get here?
No. My dad's a Tesla guy. Say, oh, yeah. 2035 will be zero emissions, but yet we'd have to wait 2 days at the gas station.
That's your favorite thing, isn't it?
It's so ridiculous. And look up how many coal power plants China is building in 2021.
I mean, nuclear.
Hold on. I was just reading this to my sister.
Did you send me the article the other day about no gas cars by 2035?
No, I don't think it was me.
I thought you did.
China's new coal power plant capacity in 2020 is more than 3 times the rest of the world's. So China put 38.4 gigawatts of new coal-fired power capacity into operation in 2020. According to the new international research, that's more than 3 times the amount built elsewhere around the world and potentially undermining its short-term climate goals. Obviously. Obviously.
There's no way around it.
No, but I mean, here's the thing. It's just an issue that I have. It's not just the United States. It's the rest of the world that contributes to global warming. So if you limit yourself in your production, you limit yourself to what you can do, and you let other countries like China continue to produce and be the power source of everything.
Third world countries, smaller countries, they're pumping carbon in the air.
I went to Africa, and every car was pumping out soot like you wouldn't believe. Like my eyes were burning.
I know. You fly into like some kind, like when you fly into Japan, for instance, like you fly in and you see it all, like the smog. There's like layers of it.
It's just absolutely crazy. It's like for 21 to 2025, it's going to be like, I think they have 38 coal-fired plants in construction. It's just crazy. But what are we going to do? Let's just drive a Tesla.
You're going to drive an electric car, aren't you?
I mean, if the power grids and like we had an infrastructure to drive an electric car, go to California. Like they had a video of Thanksgiving last year. People were waiting 3 hours to charge up their cars, and they couldn't. And Like, there's not an infrastructure. We don't have the infrastructure.
Can't keep their lights on.
Exactly. Because there's not enough power. And where's the power come from? So if your power comes from natural gas or natural resources, it's the same thing. You're plugging your car in to pull the power from a coal plant or from natural gas. Unless we have all wind turbine or we have all freaking Hoover dams all over the country.
Look what happened in Texas with the wind turbines. They didn't have electricity
there's
because
not wind.
Froze.
There's no wind.
No, they froze during the freeze.
They couldn't spin?
Yeah. They had too much snow on them. They couldn't spin.
So
that's a good thing about living in New England right now. It looks like that the winters are going to start going more south now, the way the jet streams are and all that stuff is. So you can get less snow up here than you are down there. It's like down in this area, you almost got more snow here than you did in most parts of New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's pushing down.
Yeah, it's because it's snow. It can't snow when it's really cold. Like people don't understand that. Like when it's really cold, the snow doesn't really come down as much. You just see places with snow because the snow stays longer, but it doesn't snow a lot. Snow has to be close to freezing where the rain is switching there, and that's what piles it on.
Yeah,
that's why you get like a big storm in like the Cape and here.
Today I was at the gas station. I saw a big truck or a big train coming through. I'm like, oh, you think they have electric trains, or would you get on an electric plane, or who is the is it John Perry? Kerry?
Yeah.
He just accepted an award for something for environmental, and he took a private jet there. It's like, okay, how much pollution is your private jet pumping out in the atmosphere?
In a Suburban to the
airport.
Come on. Suburban there.
Unless everyone's going to be on the same page here, you're just going to... You look at everything that runs everything. I'm talking about everything. Not you see a Caterpillar bulldozer moving things around. You see a crane. You see semi trucks. You see dump trucks. You see trains. You see ships, airplanes, everything. That you can't go all. And then you go battery power. You say everything. Every car is a battery, right? Every car has a battery in it. You got to get all the elements from the earth that make a battery.
Yeah.
So lithium, everything. And the second you get the battery, every time you charge it, you're going to lose power. So from the first day you use it to the 5 years you have it, in the 5th year you might get 100 miles to the freaking battery. You don't know.
It's usually a year later.
A year, it starts to go down.
Yeah.
Just like my cell phone.
Yeah.
My cell phone 3.
The iPhone 3.
This thing lasts I already have no power. I had it fully charged this morning.
Yeah.
Got nothing.
You got like an hour and 20 minutes.
That's it.
And you used to have 10 hours.
And then they say, don't throw your phone in the garbage because of the battery. This battery, how big's that battery? We can't throw that away?
Yeah.
Throw your car away. See what happens.
Your light's on, you might kill the battery.
Yeah, it's done. Look at the sexiness of that car.
That's your Corvette?
Yeah, it's the 65. I love that green. But anyway, there's so many issues that you can get into it. I want a better world for my kids. I want a safe place for my kids. But we have to be realistic in this thing.
That's the problem is everybody has outside the box ideas, but inside the box is so screwed up that don't matter what the outside the box is. You have to fix inside the box
You have to have
first.
realistic expectations of what is actually real.
Yeah. No, I get it. We have to stop carbon pollution and all that stuff. But yes, you're right. You have to do it the right way. You have to start taking the measures. Like cars, most cars are partial zero emissions now. They don't really produce much carbon or anything like that, like they used to. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you started a car up, right, and black smoke came
when
out.
I start up my old car, I literally have to push it outside. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I couldn't imagine 1970 traffic jam. I couldn't imagine it. You would just have
in New York City?
Gas. Yeah. Like you would just smell like gas. Like all the old cars, because they don't have the catalytic converters, they don't have the program. Because a lot of these new cars, they run really hot because the more heat that's created, like a diesel. They create the heat and it burns off all the particulates and it burns it off. Then you got your DPF and you got your DEF, all that stuff. They spray that into the DPF and it takes all the particulates and it just puts them in the DPF, and then you burn it all off, and then it comes out of your tailpipe and there's not a lot of the like you see an old truck and it's got all the soot coming out of it.
Yeah.
That's
ones
bad.
now don't.
That's not good. The new ones are actually pretty clean.
Yeah, so we've done a good job at that, but I think you're right. With going electric vehicles, you're just going to create more carbon pollution with more coal plants.
I read a thing on Consumer Reports too. Your tires have particulates, and because when you drive a tire on the road, and over time, what happens to it? It disintegrates. You lose the rubber on the tire that goes somewhere. So they're talking about the pollution of tires, which is, I mean, it's.
Well, the thing is, how do you dispose of tires?
They're on Gillette Stadium right now. They just recycle them, but
not really though. They're starting to do a lot of asphalt with them. You grind up tires.
Yeah, and they put it in there.
Yeah, it
melt it
expands,
down,
contracts, and all that stuff. But you have to figure out a way to do all that stuff. But like, you're going to throw batteries in there. What do you do with batteries?
Imagine a junkyard full of cars with batteries.
Just so everybody realizes too, when you junk a car and they crush it, they take the battery out first and they crush it. How do you take the battery out of an entire floorboard?
They'd probably rip it out. They'd probably like have a thing that just, and then.
But then what do you do with it?
You can't break. You can't bust it. You can't let the battery acid and all that stuff.
Yeah, where's the acid go?
In our drinking water.
Yeah,
something crazy.
People don't realize that like it doesn't just disappear. Even if you take the battery out, right? You do what you're supposed to. You take the battery out. Let's assume the junkyard takes it out first, which they don't all the time. But just say they do. You ever been to a junkyard? Like it's just like
it's
hills of batteries.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I go to a junkyard and I just think I don't want to live close to a junkyard. Yeah. I wouldn't want to live in a 5-mile radius of a junkyard.
Yeah.
Like you just look at the puddles on the ground are full of like oil and like rainbow films like all over the place and plastic everywhere. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, there's oil coming out of this somewhere.
What I used to do when I got my first car, I had to go to the junkyard to get parts. Parents would say, hey, go to the junkyard and go get the parts. And you'd walk along car to car to car and be like, all right, that's an Eclipse right there. Let me go grab, I need a radiator.
Yeah.
And I just yanked the thing out. And, the antifreeze would just fall to the ground.
Antifreeze, at least that's like mostly water.
Yeah, but go drink some. Tide Pods.
Yeah, I'll give it to Brody. I'm kidding.
Speaking of Brody, when's he going to go to training?
Soon. I was looking around because I'm like, I have Brody nightmares of him like
PTSD of Brody
grabbing that, ripping it down, jumping up on the counters and eating my sandwich.
So is he better than what he was like a month ago?
No, he's better. He's getting better. I mean, he's a little bit afraid of me because hey, Brody, because I'll give him a little bit.
How much do you freak out like if you walk in the room and he's like laying on the couch?
He doesn't go on the couch. I'll pull him up, I'll pull him on me and he'll hang out with me for a little bit. He doesn't jump. Not yet. He's getting pretty big. I think he's going to be he's like 60 pounds, I think, right now. He's like 5 months old. He's going to be like 90 pounds. He's going to be a big golden. He's going to be a big boy.
Yeah. But
he humps everything right now. That's the weirdest thing. I'm like, dude, stop humping. And he only humps with a toy in his mouth. So he'll have his little stuffed animal and he'll have it in his mouth. He'll go over and start humping
BDSM
something.
dog.
I'm like, dude. And then I take the toy out and he stops. I'm like, what the hell?
What do your kids call it? They call it, he wants a piggyback
ride. He's like, look, he wants a piggyback. I'm like,
get out of here.
Get out of here, Brody. Stop it.
They have this thing called a doggy don't. It's like a.
I want to get the shock collar. He jumps up and then I just want to zap it.
They have this thing. It's like a noisemaker. You buy it on like Amazon. It's like $5.
I tried to do that. I put marbles in a freaking thing. I shook it at him. He looks at me like.
No. It's a little thing. It's like a little button, and you just press it, and it makes like a
high
weird
frequency
sound
or something.
Yeah, and it gets them to stop. It's called doggy don't.
Oh.
So like they jump on the counter, you press it, and they go down.
I have to look at
then
it.
They freak out a little bit with it, so they just start learning that if I do this, I'm gonna get this. I don't like that.
Yeah.
My bulldog was. I adopted him. He was like abused really bad. Like I got him when he was like 2.5, and he never had a collar on him. He's full of poop and all that stuff. But he's terrified of things. He hates my wife. He hates women. Like he doesn't hate him. He's just terrified of them. So I used the doggy don't once with Ursula, our Malinois. I've never seen the dog move so fast. Like he just took off. I was like, where the hell did he go? And you go up the stairs, checking room to room, and you find him in the shower, just in the corner. I'm like, no, shit, I can't use it anymore. But it does work.
Yeah.
It's like
about a good old fashioned taser.
So you're gonna send him off to training?
Yeah, I need to. I need to get him vaccinated for something before I do that. I forget what it is. Starts with a B, I think.
Bortella?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him vaccinated for that.
Vaccines are weird, though.
Speaking of vaccines.
Yeah. Well, our Malinois got vaccine. She got a vaccine the other day, and she was like out for the count the whole day.
Really?
Yeah. Like I walk, she's kind of.
Anyone get a vaccine? Been out for the count?
You're gonna get it, right?
I didn't get it. I'm 37. I'm not in the age.
You don't have like
range.
risk factors, though.
No, I'm good, healthy.
I think if you have like high blood pressure and something else, you can get it.
I don't have. I mean, I take a medication for
that. You actually take it?
Not today. I usually don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty healthy. I work out hard. I'm good.
So you're gonna get it? You're gonna have to get it to they're saying you might have to get it to travel.
I don't think I'm gonna get it for a while.
So it's not travel?
I'll let all the old people get it first. I'll let all the people that need it.
All the old people are done. Or almost. Not Massachusetts.
I'll let everyone get it that needs it, and then I'll get it.
You know that Massachusetts had like a worse vaccine rollout than Alaska did?
It doesn't surprise me.
Half of their stuff had to go by like dog sled.
All our tax money is going towards everything else.
That's a whole different story, though, isn't it?
We're not getting into that. Not today.
Ninko doesn't want to get into that.
No, I got like 7 excise tax things in the mail yesterday. I was like,
for all the
great.
cars?
Yeah. There's a $7.50 for the Buick, though. $10 for the Corvette. $10 for the F-150.
You may not want to say this on the show because they may come out and audit you and go, well, the value of this car is a lot higher than
no.
the $12 that we have.
I paid $5,000 for it. That's it.
For what?
The Buick.
Yeah.
That's it.
How much did you put into it?
That's it.
How
Daniel,
much did you put into it?
Nothing.
What about the
bartered.
Corvette?
Corvette was 5 Gs again, 5,500. That's it.
That's what the paperwork says.
That's what it is.
You didn't get one for like the truck for your F-350? That's gonna be a big one.
Yeah, it was 6 something. 650. The red eye was the worst.
Was it?
G.
That's actually not that bad. I thought it'd be higher than that.
Well, the BMW I had was 1,200. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every year you have it, it just.
Yeah, but it don't really go down that much.
Not really.
Doesn't go with the value of the car usually.
That goes with like sticker price, basically.
Yeah, it's a certain deduction
every year from where it's sold at, or for what the MSRP is on the sticker.
It has nothing to do with what it's sold at anymore.
No, it's the MSRP of the VIN, I think.
Yeah, because it used to be in Massachusetts, like you could just give like a purchase order and go, look, I bought the car for $500.
They don't care.
Charge you sales tax. They don't care now.
Because the BMW I had, I sold that one. That one like sold for $125. The MSRP was $125.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. Like,
yeah.
And then the wide body Hellcat was $100.
Yeah,
and
so
that's what it is.
It don't matter what you bought it for.
No.
See, New Hampshire's nice. There's no tax.
Well, I got a business up there, and that's with the new Ram Mega Cab coming in. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be my new work truck, so it'll be cool. I can't wait.
Under your New Hampshire LLC.
I mean, I think it's my work truck. I'll be going back and forth, pulling sleds and side by sides, and going up there often.
Putting together like ATVs and stuff like that.
That's it. Putting them together, working up there, cutting trails. It's gonna be my work truck.
You're gonna cut trails.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it for 22. We're going to head out. We're going to be back next week. I think we're actually going to make a surprise trip to Castle Island, waiting for ownership to get back. I think they're going to let us in there. They want us in there. So it should be fun. We'll do like a tasting board of everything. I want to make my own brew.
Ninko brew?
I want to call it Lumberjack.
What are you going to put in it? Like maple
It's going to be
syrup?
full bodied, a little bit of cedar wood in there.
Yeah.
And some citrus. I think that'd be great.
Citrus doesn't really go with that, though.
I don't know.
You put like some maple syrup in there or something.
Maple
like
and cedar? Oh,
that's like a lumberjack thing.
And then a pinch of beard.
I can throw that in there. I mean, here on Natty Light, they throw some pennies in there or something like that.
Yeah, or have some Jameson. There's just like the sweat of an Irishman.
You're still worried about that one, huh?
Ugh. Well, the pickle juice helps. Let's do a shot of Jameson's and pickle juice. Will you do that on TV next?
I'll drink the whole bottle of Jameson before I drink
pickle juice.
Yeah.
How about just a shot of pickle juice?
No.
Who doesn't like pickles? That's ridiculous. I love pickles. It's cucumber. You like cucumbers on your salad?
You ever seen there was like a Maury Povich thing, like something like that? That like it was like people afraid of pickles, and there was like one girl who was afraid of pickles, and they brought it out, and she started screaming and like ran out of the studio.
Pickles are great.
Car.
Pickles are great. They're a low calorie snack. It's like a carrot.
My daughter eats pickles, and I try to like tell her like, "Hey,
Clausens, the snappy ones."
No, nope.
All right. Well,
Nope.
that'll do it for this episode. We had fun. Hope you did as well.
Yeah.
See you later.
We'll see you guys on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Apple Podcast, Spotify, the whole 9 yards.
Maybe next week I'll chug this whole thing.
Do it.
How much?
$100.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. All right. See you later.
See you guys.